My beloved, you keep asking why it feels so heavy, why the pressure increased instead of decreasing after your yes, why the moment you said, "I'm ready," everything seemed to fall apart. You thought surrender would bring immediate relief. You expected obedience to open an easier path, to unlock faster progress, clearer direction, and a deeper peace. Instead, it led you straight into fire. You didn't plan for this, you didn't ask for this, and in the quiet, you've wondered if maybe you misheard me. But hear me now, you didn't mishear. You were led here on purpose, because you were made for this kind of fire. The intensity you're facing isn't proof that something went wrong. It's proof that something new has begun. You think you're being tested, but I say you are being revealed. What you're walking through isn't random, accidental, or the result of failure. It is the exact pressure necessary to draw out what I planted in you. You see an attack, but I see an activation. This fire isn't here to consume you. It's here to confirm you. It's proof that what I placed inside of you is ready to emerge. You've prayed for power, clarity, and breakthrough. But I cannot give you the weight of what you've asked for without first making sure your identity is stronger than your emotions. I cannot release you into places of influence if fear is still your foundation, or send you into visibility if your stability depends on the approval of others. The fire is not here to break you. It's here to burn away what cannot follow you into your next season. It's here to refine your motives, separate your voice from the noise, and teach you to live without compromise. Because where you're going, compromise will not protect you. Only obedience will. I led you into this fire, not to watch you collapse, but to reveal the strength you carry when everything familiar is stripped away. This season has exposed the places where your faith was still tied to results, shown you where you still leaned on your understanding, surfaced the doubts you thought you buried. But none of that is a reason to be ashamed. Fire does not reveal to condemn. It reveals to purify. I am not surprised by what surfaced. I have been waiting for this because now I can show you who you really are. Beneath survival, beneath striving, you are stronger than you know. Not because you feel strong, but because you stayed when it would have been easier to run. Even when the prayers felt empty, even when no one affirmed your hidden process, even when you questioned your own worth, you remained. And I was there, not watching from a distance, but walking with you through every flame. I have been the strength beneath your shaking, the peace beneath your panic, the whisper in your silence. And now, I am speaking clearly again, because this is the moment where everything changes. Not because the fire ends, but because you begin to see it differently. The fire is not your enemy, it is your unveiling. You asked me for your purpose, but purpose is not found in comfort. It is found in surrender. And surrender doesn't feel safe at first. It feels like exposure, like chaos, like confusion. But in that very place, I rebuild. I reveal your real strength, not strength born of hype or energy, but strength born of peace, of knowing that even when pressure surrounds you, you are not being destroyed, you are being defined. This fire will not take you out. It will take out everything that is not needed. It will strip away false stories, lies, the need for applause, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being too much. This fire is not punishment, it's preparation, and it is producing something that could not be built any other way. That is why I allowed it, not to harm you, but because I trust you with a testimony that carries weight. You have been hidden long enough. You have felt small long enough. You have been shrinking to survive, but I did not create you to shrink. I created you to stand. And this fire is awakening what fear tried to bury. The version of you that prays unseen, worships without needing a reason, moves forward even when the steps are slow and heavy. That version is the one I'm calling forward now. This is not a mistake. This is not an interruption. This is your moment of revelation. You are not disqualified. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are ready. You are marked. You are standing exactly where my fire meets your faith. Not to burn you down, but to brand you with the kind of authority that only comes through fire. You were made for this kind of fire, and soon you will not just survive it, you will carry it. You've carried more than most people know. You have walked through days with a brave face, while your soul ached for rest. You have shown up when your faith felt like a whisper. You have served while secretly wondering if I still saw you. In those moments when you doubted your strength, your value, your calling, I was closer than you realized. Not observing you with a checklist, not disappointed by your struggle, but moved by your honesty, your hunger, your stubborn hope. You thought you needed to do more to please me, but I never asked you to perform. I only asked you to stay close. You have been harder on yourself than I have ever been. You measured your worth by your consistency, your productivity, your ability to seem put together. But I never called you to impress me. I called you to walk with me. I never asked you to feel strong. I asked you to remain near. You are not behind. You are not weak. You are in process. You are being formed for something holy. What you are feeling right now isn't evidence of failure. It's evidence that something powerful is being built inside of you. And that building is heavy. It presses. It purifies. And I want you to know, I am not disappointed in you. Not for struggling. Not for doubting. Not for feeling exhausted. I don't define you by your emotional ups and downs. I define you by who I made you to be. That version of you, the real you, is alive and well beneath the pressure. I see the one who still whispers my name when they don't know what I'm doing. I see the one who still worships with tears running down their face. I see the one who stayed, not because it was easy, but because they loved me. Every one of those moments you thought went unnoticed, I saw them. Heaven saw them. And now, I want you to know, I trust you. I trust the way you listen for my voice, even when you're tired. I trust the way your heart softens, even when it would be easier to harden. I trust the way you come back to me again and again, even when you don't feel worthy. I'm not building a perfect follower. I'm building a faithful one. And you are one of them. So I'm inviting you back. Not back to pressure, but back to presence. Back to simplicity. Back to sitting with me without striving. Without needing to perform. Without needing to prove. You don't need to fight for your identity. You already have it. You don't need to chase clarity. I am your clarity. You don't need to look strong right now. You only need to look at me. Come back to the place where the pressure breaks. Come back to the place where striving ends and rest begins. I am not holding your mistakes over your head. I am holding your heart in my hands. I have never been shocked by your story. I saw the end from the beginning. I knew where you would struggle, where you would fall, where the fire would stretch you, and I still called you, still chose you, still trusted you with this weight. not because of your perfection, but because of your posture. Even when you were unsure of me, I was never unsure of you. You are still chosen, still seen, still full of potential, still carrying what I placed inside of you before the pressure ever came. Nothing has disqualified you. Nothing has removed my presence. The silence wasn't absence, it was preparation. I've been forming in you a depth that applause cannot steal and resistance cannot crush. And now I'm calling you deeper, not to start over, but to anchor you even more. Because what's coming requires a steady soul, not a busy one. Let me rebuild you with tenderness. Let me breathe life into the places where you stopped dreaming. Let me love you back into full awareness of who you really are. I'm not asking for a better version of you. I'm asking for the real you. This is the call you've been waiting for. The one that says, you're still mine. I still see you. I'm still right here. You've asked me why it had to happen this way. Why the pain came when it did, through the people it did, in the moments that hurt the most. You couldn't find answers, and somewhere deep inside you began to wonder if maybe it was your fault. Maybe you weren't enough. But I need you to see what really happened. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't rejection. It was refinement. It was sacred separation. You thought you were being broken, but I was breaking off what could not stay. I wasn't late. I wasn't absent. I was standing with you in the fire, not distant, but intentional. Because I knew what would survive. I knew what you were carrying, and if you would trust me, even with your questions, I would take the place of your deepest pain and turn it into the foundation of your greatest purpose. You didn't see it then, but the pain shaped you. It taught you to listen beyond the noise, to depend on my voice when no one else understood. It humbled your expectations, not to weaken your faith, but to clarify your vision. You stopped chasing what wasn't yours. You stopped depending on distraction. You found me in the hidden places. That's where I refined you. That's where I poured the oil that cannot be bought, only pressed. And now, I want you to know, you are not the same. You are heavier, steadier, quieter in soul, but louder in authority. Because when everything else fell apart, you held on to me. Not perfectly, but persistently. And that is what I honor. Not your performance, but your proximity. Not how loudly you shouted, but how quietly you stayed. You grieved what you thought were endings, but they were really sacred separations. I didn't take from you to harm you. I made room for what fits. I didn't allow the dreams to die to mock you. I allowed them to die because the dreamer inside you was becoming someone greater. And now, from the ashes, I am building a future rooted in truth, strength, surrender, and real authority. You are ready, beloved. You are prepared, not because you feel ready, but because you stayed close. And now, nothing can shake what I have built in you. I see the foundation. I see the very ground where I am now building something that cannot be moved. Do not resent the pressure you feel. It is evidence that you are carrying something eternal. Do not curse the silence. It has been the container where your discernment grew sharp. Do not regret the fire. It was in the fire that your true identity was reclaimed. You did not lose time. You gained weight. You did not lose influence. You gained substance. You did not lose your way. You found me in ways that comfort would never have allowed. And now, I am redeeming every ounce of pain you walked through, not by pretending it never happened, but by rewriting what it means. You will look back and realize that is where your strength came from, where you learned to stand, where you discovered who you really are. I will not erase your story. I will anoint it. I will not remove your scars. I will give them power. You are not rising in spite of what you endured. You are rising because of it. What you carry now is not just a calling. It is a testimony that the fire did not destroy you. It commissioned you. When the weight feels heavy again, remember, you were never meant to escape it. You were meant to carry it with grace, because I am carrying it with you. You were never meant to avoid the fire. You were made for this kind of fire. And now, that fire has marked you, not with fear, but with glory. You have been searching for evidence with your eyes, but I have already begun moving in ways your spirit has been sensing. You don't need to wait for a visible explosion to know that the atmosphere around you has shifted. You've already felt it, in the subtle unrest, in the hunger that refuses to let you stay the same, in the way old rhythms no longer satisfy your soul. These are not random feelings. They are spiritual signs that fulfillment is not only coming, it has already begun. You thought nothing was happening, but I tell you, much has already shifted. Doors that once resisted you are preparing to open. Rooms you didn't even know you belonged in are being rearranged to make space for your arrival. Conversations are happening about your name, your assignment, your positioning, even though you cannot see or hear them yet. I am orchestrating alignments that will not require striving or begging. Only your obedience when I say, move. You are not chasing favor. Favor is finding you, because I have already declared it so. The signs are subtle now, because I am training your spirit to lead, not your eyes. I am sharpening your ability to recognize me, not through noise, but through unmistakable peace. When peace follows an opportunity, even when fear shouts louder, that is a sign. When a door closes suddenly, it is a sign of protection. When the same confirmations circle back to you without your prompting, it is a sign of divine timing. I am speaking through atmosphere, through whispers, through divine tension and holy unrest. Pay attention. You are not losing ground. You are walking into prepared territory. I am stirring new dreams inside you. Dreams too big, too sudden, too wild to have come from your own mind. They are glimpses of what I have already scheduled for your life. I do not tease you with hope. I do not stir dreams to disappoint. When I show you flashes of your future, it is not to frustrate you, but to prepare your heart to say yes. These glimpses are invitations, not just to believe, but to begin building, even while no one else sees it yet. The shift is happening first inside of you. Your discernment is sharpening. Your hunger is growing. Your conversations are shifting, and your prayers are deepening. You are beginning to recognize the difference between noise and voice, between opportunity and assignment, between distraction and destiny. This is not because you are becoming better. It is because you are becoming more aligned. I have been detoxing your heart, pruning relationships, habits, and thoughts that once felt necessary but are now clearly not. That clarity is a sign of your preparation. I am recalibrating you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You will start noticing patterns, dreams that echo each other, words and themes that repeat. You will feel a pull toward specific alignments, disciplines, and spaces of surrender. Follow that pull. It is me leading you. I am not asking you to strive. I am asking you to stay sensitive. Protect the environment of your soul the way a gardener protects new seeds, not through anxious overworking, but through daily attentiveness. There are people coming who will recognize what you carry without needing you to explain. There are opportunities being formed that will stretch you, but not suffocate you. There are resources being aligned, not because you manipulated them, but because you remained faithful when no one else saw the sacrifice. Heaven has been building in silence what you thought was stalled. And now, what was hidden will begin to rise, not rushed, but right on time. I am moving pieces behind the scenes with a precision you could not have orchestrated, even if you tried. That is why the waiting felt so heavy, because what I am about to reveal carries my glory, and I refuse to rush what carries my glory. What is about to unfold will not look like the survival season you just came out of. It will be marked by rest, flow, and a peace that confuses others. That peace will guard your heart when acceleration feels overwhelming. Prepare your heart and mind, not in panic, but in posture. Build your mornings around stillness. Build your days around expectation. Build your nights around surrender. Stay sensitive to the small confirmations. I am not coming in chaos. I am coming in the quiet. When the wave of fulfillment hits, you will not be caught off guard. You will be ready. You are not stepping into something random. You are stepping into something written long before the pain, long before the delay, long before the doubt. This was always the plan. You were made for this kind of fire. And now, the fire is not just forming you. It is about to launch you. Now that you know the shift has begun. Now that you see the signs unfolding. The next step is not to wait passively. It is to move intentionally. You do not chase the fulfillment of my promises desperately. You walk into it steadily, with posture, awareness, and a rhythm that matches the weight of what you carry. I am not asking you to force what I am building. I am asking you to align your daily life with what I have already set in motion. Alignment is how you cooperate with acceleration, and alignment happens in the ordinary, not just in the extraordinary. Start with your mornings. Before the world pulls at you with demands and distractions, give me your attention, not out of obligation, but out of recognition. Let me be the first voice you tune to, not your fear, not your tasks, not your doubts. Even a few minutes of surrendered stillness will anchor your soul in ways hours of activity never could. In that quiet, I will strengthen you. I will reveal small directions. I will whisper wisdom that shields you from unnecessary battles. I will set your focus before confusion has a chance to speak. Stay sensitive throughout the day. Every moment matters. Faith is not only about big leaps. It is about steady steps. When you feel the nudge to pray, to reach out, to shift your attitude, to slow your pace, respond quickly. Quick obedience shortens the distance between the seed and the harvest. Stop second-guessing every prompting. You have matured more than you realize. Your spirit is hearing me more clearly now, because the fire burned away the distractions. Trust the discernment you fought so hard to develop. Small yeses in private unlock big breakthroughs in public. Guard your atmosphere ruthlessly. What you consume, what you allow into your mind, what you entertain in your heart, none of it is neutral. It either feeds your faith or drains your focus. Choose inputs that match the fire you carry. Choose conversations that stir hunger, not fear. Choose spaces that challenge you into growth, not places that coddle you into compromise. You no longer have the luxury of feeding your spirit leftovers. You are carrying something sacred, and it demands intentionality. Return to my word daily, not to check a religious box, but to build your internal architecture. My word is your stabilizer. It will keep you anchored when the winds rise and the noise increases. You don't need to master everything at once. You need to meditate on what I highlight. Let it reframe your responses. Let it renew your mind. Let it correct your language. My word will give you the authority to speak with weight when opportunities arise. Without my word alive inside you, pressure will push you into reaction. But with my word seated deep in your heart, pressure will only pull out power. Learn to manage your peace, not by controlling circumstances, but by stewarding your heart. I am training you to live from a place where peace is your platform, not your reward. Peace is not what happens after everything is fixed. Peace is what happens when you stay close to me, even when everything feels unfinished. Practice stillness when anxiety rises. Practice worship when distractions call. Practice gratitude when progress feels slow. These are not minor disciplines. They are spiritual weapons that clear the air around your calling. Prepare practically to build systems for the life you're stepping into, not just for the life you're leaving behind. If I have spoken expansion, prepare capacity. If I have spoken increase, organize with expectation. If I have promised influence, develop the skills to sustain it with humility. Faith without works is dead, not because works earn favor, but because true faith prepares in advance. Noah did not wait for the rain to start building. Joseph did not wait to lead before learning stewardship in the prison. David did not wait for the crown before sharpening his skills. Live like the future is already unfolding, because it is. Stay in rhythm, not reaction. The enemy will try to overwhelm you, rush you, and make you move out of fear or fatigue. Refuse it. My timing is perfect. My pace for your life is not frantic. It is faithful. Keep breathing. Keep listening. Keep moving at the speed of trust, not panic. The fire was never meant to exhaust you. It was meant to energize you with my spirit. Above all, stay near. You are not being sent alone. You are not being launched without covering. Every step you take is under the careful eye of the one who saw the end from the beginning. You are not building a life for me from the outside in. You are building a life with me from the inside out. That is why the foundation matters so much. That is why the small choices matter so much. That is why your hidden faithfulness matters so much. Move now like you believe it's real. Pray now like you believe the door is near. Plan now like you believe the season is shifting. Live now like you carry fire, because you do. And soon, the fire that shaped you will be the fire that leads you into everything I promised. You thought you were walking through fire just to survive, just to endure, just to make it through. But I tell you, the fire was never about proving your worth through survival. It was about unveiling your worth through revelation. You were never a mistake trying to earn significance. You were a carrier of my presence long before you ever faced pressure, The fire didn't create your calling, it revealed it. The pressure didn't give you identity, it exposed what I planted deep inside you from the beginning. You have spent too long seeing yourself through the lens of struggle. You attached your value to your ability to keep fighting. But I want you to see yourself the way I see you, not as a wounded fighter, but as a beloved son, a beloved daughter, someone whose worth was never determined by performance or resilience. You are not valuable because you endured. You are valuable because I made you. In my image, breathed my spirit into you, and placed eternal assignments inside of you that the fire only served to awaken. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not too late. You are right on time. You are not barely making it. You are being strategically positioned by my hand. Every scar you carry is not a mark of shame. It is a mark of survival, a mark of victory, a reminder that you have fought battles most will never see. And still, you remained faithful, even when faithfulness looked like nothing more than refusing to walk away. You have no idea how much weight your life carries. You have no idea how many chains have been broken simply because you chose to stay when quitting would have been easier. You think your story is ordinary, but in the spirit, it has thundered through darkness. Every prayer you whispered through tears, every act of obedience you gave without recognition, every moment you forgave without receiving an apology, none of it has gone unnoticed in heaven. These moments have been multiplied into seeds of breakthrough, and you are just beginning to see them unfold. It is time to stop shrinking back, to stop doubting whether you heard me correctly, and to stop wondering if you missed your moment. You haven't missed anything. In fact, you are standing on ground that many never reach, not because you pushed harder, but because you stayed longer. You stayed soft when hardness was an option. You stayed honest when pretending would have been easier. You stayed faithful when cynicism would have been justified. That is why I trust you with this next level. That is why I preserved you when others thought you were finished. You were never finished. You were being formed. You no longer have to fight for room. I am making room for you. You don't have to manipulate doors. I am unlocking doors that were once sealed, not because you lacked value, but because the right time had not yet arrived. You don't have to apologize for carrying weight now. The fire you went through was not meant to humiliate you. It was meant to clothe you with an authority that cannot be faked. An ease is coming to the places where you once had to fight, not because the battles have disappeared, but because you have been changed. You will walk into old spaces and feel no need to prove yourself. You will hear old voices of accusation and feel no pull to respond. You will stand in storms that once would have shaken you to your core, and you will find yourself unmoved, not because you have become numb, but because you have become rooted. I am restoring your joy, not the temporary kind that depends on circumstances, but the deep, anchored joy that wells up from knowing who you are and whose you are. Joy that cannot be stolen by delays. Joy that cannot be diminished by criticism. Joy that lives inside your identity, not outside it in performance. I am rebuilding your confidence, not based on how you compare to others, but based on how you are seen by me. You have always been enough, and now you will walk like you know it. Moments will come when old insecurities whisper again, but you will recognize them for what they are, echoes of a past season that no longer defines you. You are not the abandoned one. You are not the overlooked one. You are not the broken one. You are the call, the seal, the one who carries fire because you were formed in it, not consumed by it. When you step forward, when you speak, pray, build, and love, you won't have to announce what happened. The atmosphere will testify for you. The weight of my presence on your life will speak louder than anything you could ever say. People will encounter what you carry without even realizing they are standing in the evidence of what fire can produce when someone refuses to quit. You were made for this kind of fire. Now, you are ready to walk from it, not burned, but branded by heaven. Now that the fire has formed you and the revelation has reawakened you, you must walk carefully, not in fear, but in wisdom. You are carrying something too holy to be casual about. The oil that was pressed from your crushing is not common. It cannot be stewarded with old rhythms or a distracted heart. It requires vigilance, rhythm, and intimacy. Not to maintain favor was freely given, but to protect the environment where my presence can dwell deeply and where authority can multiply. What I am building in you is not a seasonal flame, it is a lasting fire. And lasting fire requires daily stewardship. Start with prayer, not occasional, desperate prayer, but consistent, honest communion. Make me your first appointment every day. Before the pressure of the world speaks, let my voice be the one that shapes your mind and your posture. Your mornings are a gate. Whoever enters first defines the tone for the hours that follow. Let me enter first. Invite my spirit into your thoughts before you scroll, react, or plan. Even if it's just 15 minutes of stillness, even if it's a whispered surrender, it will anchor you more deeply than hours of frantic activity. Prayer is not performance, it's presence. I'm not listening for eloquence. I'm listening for honesty. I want the version of you that sighs when words run out, the one that just sits in silence when the pressure is too heavy to articulate. I meet you there, not as a taskmaster, but as a father, as a friend, as the one who still calls you worthy when your hands are too tired to lift in strength. Build your life around my word. My word is not background noise. It is your daily weapon and your daily bread. You don't need to devour entire books at once. You need to meditate slowly, deliberately, deeply. Let it wash you when you wake. Let it frame your decisions as you move. Let it correct the lies that fear will try to reintroduce. When your mind starts racing ahead in anxiety, slow down and feed it truth. My word will remind you who you are. When everything else tries to label you, it will clarify your next step. When emotion clouds your vision, it will anchor you when seasons shift suddenly. Let gratitude become your guardrail. The spirit of this world will try to feed you fear, entitlement, comparison, and discouragement. But gratitude disarms them all. Thank me for what hasn't yet arrived. Thank me for the doors I closed before they could trap you. Thank me for battles you didn't even know you were spared from. A grateful heart stays soft, stays tuned to my movements, and doesn't drown under the pressure to control outcomes. Watch your relationships carefully. Not all company is neutral. Some connections accelerate your fire. Others drain it slowly and silently. Stay near those who stir your faith, who remind you of your fire when you forget. Distance yourself from those who celebrate your gifting, but not your growth. I am not calling you to judgment. I am calling you to discernment. Some conversations were an assignment for a season. not a covenant for a lifetime. Honor them, bless them, but do not cling when I have called you to release. Pace yourself. The fire has made you ready, but acceleration must not substitute intimacy. You are not in competition. You are not racing unseen enemies. You are moving at the pace of peace, not pressure. If you start feeling frantic, stop and recalibrate. I am not in the hurry. I am in the stillness. I am not impressed by burnout, masked as dedication. I am moved by devotion that stays even when speed slows. Listen closely, for I have more to reveal. Your journey is not one of mere motion. It is one of growth. There is a purpose to every season of your life. Not every step is meant to be rushed. Do not mistake activity for progress. Just because your feet are moving doesn't mean your heart is aligning. Trust that I am with you in every moment, whether you're moving swiftly or standing still. It is not the pace that matters, but the direction and the intention behind each step. In moments of doubt, remember that I am the one who calms the storm. When everything around you seems to be in chaos, know that you are anchored in my love. The world may pressure you to be fast, to keep up, to achieve more, but my voice calls you to a different rhythm, a rhythm of peace. Do not let the noise of this world drown out the quiet assurance of my presence. You do not need to chase after the things of the world when I have already ordained a path for you, one that leads to life. Your worth is not determined by how quickly you reach your destination. It is found in the journey itself, how you walk with me, how you trust my guidance, and how you allow my love to shape you along the way. There will be seasons of waiting, seasons of silence, but those moments are not wasted. I am working in you, even when you cannot see it. Trust that the fire within you is being refined, not diminished. It is growing stronger, even when you feel like it is flickering. It is essential to surrender your need for approval. Not every person will understand your journey, and that is okay. The ones who truly matter will be those who see you for who you are, not just what you can do. They will support you, not because you offer something to them, but because they know that your growth is part of the greater plan. Your true purpose is not to please others, but to honor the calling I have placed on your life. Release the need to prove yourself. The world will try to tell you that you must constantly strive to be more, to do more. But I tell you, your value is not measured by your output. It is found in the way you remain faithful to the calling I have given you, in the way you serve others with love, and in the way you let my grace work in your life. You are not here to fulfill anyone's expectations, but mine. And my expectation is simple. Follow me, trust me, and love as I have loved you. In the quiet moments, when no one else is watching, that's when your true character is formed. It's in those moments that I am shaping you, teaching you, refining your heart. The world may not notice, but I do. I see every tear you've shed, every prayer you've whispered, and every moment you've spent in stillness, waiting for my guidance. Know this, I am with you in every moment, and I will never leave you. The world will try to tell you that you are not enough, that you are falling behind, but I remind you that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not lost. I am guiding your steps even when the path seems unclear. Trust that I know the way. Trust that I have gone before you. Trust that in every twist and turn, I am right by your side, leading you with love and wisdom. Don't allow fear to take root in your heart. It will try to convince you that you must rush, that you must prove yourself. But fear is not of me. Perfect love casts out all fear. Allow my love to be the foundation of your journey. When fear rises, remember that you are secure in my embrace. When doubt creeps in, cling to the truth of who I am and who I have called you to be. You are not walking this path alone. You are surrounded by my love, upheld by my grace, and empowered by my spirit. When the world seems overwhelming, when you feel weary, remember this: my power is made perfect in your weakness. You don't have to do this on your own. Trust in me, and I will give you the strength to continue, the peace to rest, and the wisdom to move forward at the right pace. Stay close to me, and you will never walk in darkness. Obey the small nudges immediately. Sometimes the biggest doors swing open through a quiet yes. When I nudge you to pause and pray, do it. When I stir you to encourage someone even when you feel unnoticed yourself, do it. When I ask you to step back when your flesh wants to step forward, trust me. Sensitivity is a mark of maturity. You don't need a loud voice to live powerfully. You need a surrendered heart that listens when others are busy talking. Rest is warfare against every system that tries to chain you to performance. Rest says, I trust God to work while I breathe. Rest says, I am not defined by what I do. I am rooted in who He says I am. Build sacred pauses into your week. Don't rush from revelation to responsibility without letting me restore you first. Rest isn't weakness, it's wisdom, and it's part of the strategy for the season you are stepping into. I will bless you here forever and ever. Amen.